the city of mine. It never gets me down. City of mine. How I love the city of mine.
San Francisco is one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and there's a lot to love in regards to living in San Francisco. However, no city is perfect, and neither is San Francisco. So in this video, we're going to discuss the advantages and disadvantages, the pros and the cons of living in one of the most beautiful cities in the country. So if you're considering moving to San Francisco, or maybe you just want to come visit, this video is going to be for you, as we're going to cover the good and the bad. So stay tuned.
Me and my hometown, baby, we go.
Guys, if you're new to the channel, my name is Richard Soto, a local real estate broker with VIP Realty, the premier firm in real estate. And we do videos discussing what it's like to live, work, and play throughout the great state of California. So if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do, as we provide you with great content on a weekly basis. Now let's get right into it in regards to the pros and cons of living in San Francisco. I absolutely love San Francisco, and if you watch any of my videos, you know I like my dessert first. So we're going to start with the pros, and then we will cover the cons, and I assure you there are plenty of cons when residing in San Francisco. But let's start with the number one pro, and that is the landscape. San Francisco is going to be one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Whether you're looking north, south, east, or west, the views are going to be spectacular. There's no denying that San Francisco is one of the most beautiful cities in America. San Francisco previously was named one of the top 10 most beautiful cities in the world, and it's not hard to see why. San Francisco boasts breathtaking natural beauty with stunning vistas of the Pacific Ocean, the Golden Gate Bridge, and the surrounding hills and mountains. In addition, there are so many green spaces scattered throughout the city. There's nothing quite like watching the fog roll in over the Golden Gate Bridge or taking a walk along the ocean beach with the sound of crashing waves in the background. And if that's not enough, just hanging around throughout the city, you'll enjoy watching the cable cars going up and down the hills. The views throughout the city of San Francisco are absolutely spectacular. I love being in San Francisco, mainly because it's so beautiful. So that's going to be the number one pro of residing in San Francisco, and that is going to be the beauty of San Francisco. Now, let's move on to the second pro, and that is going to be the outdoors. So if you're an outdoor enthusiast like myself that enjoys great weather and being outside, whether I'm hiking, biking, jogging, walking, hanging out at the park, maybe kayaking or boating, San Francisco is a great place if you enjoy the outdoors as much as I do. San Francisco caters to individuals who appreciate an energetic and outdoor way of life. With its temperature climate and breathtaking natural surroundings, the city provides abundant opportunities for outdoor pursuits. Whether it's hiking and cycling or surfing and kayaking, there's a diverse range of activities to suit everyone's preferences. San Francisco boasts numerous parks, including the renowned Golden Gate Park, where you can engage in various recreational activities like golfing and biking. For water enthusiasts, the city offers multiple beaches and proximity to some of the finest surfing locations in the area. So whatever it is that you're into in regards to outdoors, you can definitely find it in San Francisco, and best of all, you're going to be able to enjoy it in a very nice climate. Nothing worse, like when I go to Miami to hang out, and while they do have a beach, and South Beach is very nice, it is beyond humid, and it is a terrible place to visit during the summer, especially if you're hot-natured like myself. So San Francisco is definitely a great location for its beauty, for its climate, for its outdoor activities. Now let's move on to the third pro, and that is going to be that it's very diverse. I love diversity, mainly in food, okay, but we'll talk about that in a second. But if you enjoy diversity, there's going to be about 112 different languages being spoken throughout the city. That's crazy. That's a lot of different languages, especially with someone like myself who can barely speak English properly as it is. San Francisco is going to be recognized as one of the most diverse cities in the country, and we all benefit from it. The advantages of residing in such a diverse city are plentiful. You're sure to encounter fascinating individuals with various backgrounds, not to mention the exposure to delectable cuisines and stumbling upon intriguing traditions. Guys, we are on the move, and I think I forgot where I parked. Wait a minute. Here it is. I'm going in the right direction, but let's move on to the next pro, and that is going to be that San Francisco is a major technology hub. So if you're looking for employment opportunities with some of the biggest companies in the world, San Francisco is definitely going to be a great location to reside in because you're going to have ample opportunities to obtain an amazing job. San Francisco stands as a center of innovation and creativity, characterized by a dynamic tech landscape and a spirit of entrepreneurship. Major global corporations like Google, Facebook, and Apple have established headquarters or significant offices in the region alongside numerous startups and emerging tech firms. The city's strategic location near Stanford University and the University of California, Berkeley, has cultivated a continuous stream of talent and inventive thinking. San Francisco is a nucleus of innovation not only in technology, but also in the fields of biotech, clean energy, and healthcare, boasting world-class research institutes and medical facilities. Guys, as I stated earlier, we are on the move. And why are we on the move? It's because it's lunchtime and I haven't eaten anything. And if you're a big foodie like myself who actually goes out to eat at least 2 times a day, 7 days a week, you're going to love residing in San Francisco because there's going to be a plethora of different food and dining options, whether you're looking for fine dining or maybe you're just trying to hit up a taco stand or grab a slice of pizza. There are going to be a ton of different restaurants. San Francisco stands out as a haven for food enthusiasts, boasting an array of top-notch restaurants and a rich variety of culinary choices. From timeless seafood delicacies to bakeries, the city encompasses a diverse dining landscape. The culinary diversity mirrors the city's overall multiculturalism, offering a spectrum of flavors and styles to cater to every taste. Furthermore, the city hosts numerous farmers markets, allowing residents and visitors to procure the freshest local ingredients for home cooking. And guys, that's one place you won't find me is the farmers market, unless I'm creating some B-roll for our videos. Other than that, home cooking is not on the menu at the Soto household. However, living in San Francisco, you're going to have a ton of dining options and you can go to a different restaurant each and every day for years to come. The only thing that I haven't found in San Francisco just yet, unlike when I travel to our San Diego office, Los Angeles office, is a great Mexican restaurant. It is my favorite food without question. However, I haven't found a great Mexican restaurant in San Francisco. And if you have one or know of one, please comment below. I assure you I will definitely be checking them all out. Guys, I'm just sitting here waiting on my web guy. I don't know where he's at, which brings me to my next point, and that is going to be employment. So if you're underemployed, or maybe you're looking to climb the corporate ladder, there are going to be a ton of different job opportunities right here in San Francisco. Or maybe you're a business owner who wants to scale their business. San Francisco is definitely a great place to do just that. So if you're unemployed in San Francisco, odds are you're just not looking too hard for a job, or maybe you just need to brush up on some additional skills because there are a ton of different employers right here in San Francisco. There's probably a good chance that some of the world's most popular tech, computer, and digital giants pop up, like Apple, Google, Yahoo, and Meta, formerly Facebook, are the first to come to mind. But did you know there are a host of other successful companies within Silicon Valley that aren't part of the technology sector? Companies such as Wells Fargo, Visa, and Chevron, just to name a few major multicultural corporations that are headquartered in the Valley, and they aren't part of the big tech world. So you don't have to be into the TCOM industry to find employment, and that is great. Because anytime my computer or printer break down, I assure you, I am not the one to fix it. I might give it a swift kick, but that's about as much as I can do with technology. Before we go into the cons, which we're about to, let's take a look at San Francisco at a glance. With a population of more than 800,000, San Francisco is just a small part of the more than 3.3 million people within the entire metro area. San Francisco is 47 square miles. The median household income is about $126,000 per capita, and less than 5% of the population is under 5, meaning that San Francisco has among the fewest number of children of any city in the U.S. Most of San Francisco's population is between the ages of 25 and 44. Okay, guys, it is that time. I'm actually waiting for a client. I'm about to show a townhome. While we're sitting here, let's move on to the cons, starting with the number one con, the biggest con of all, in my opinion anyway, and that is the cost of living to reside in San Francisco. San Francisco is going to be one of the most expensive cities in the country, and it's not even close. Your day-to-day expenses, especially all the real estate options throughout the city, are going to be way, way higher than the national average. So if you're trying to be frugal, if you want to save some money for retirement one day, San Francisco might not be the ideal place to call home, because day-to-day expenses are going to be through the roof, especially compared to other cities. When considering the advantages and disadvantages of residing in San Francisco, financial planning can become a primary concern. If you're contemplating living in San Francisco, brace yourself for the constant jolt of high cost. According to an online website, San Francisco's cost of living ranks 5th in the nation, trailing behind New York City, Honolulu, Oakland, and Seattle. If you're planning to rent an apartment in San Francisco, sharing with a roommate might be necessary to manage the bills. Guys, and I'm sorry, I'm too old to be sharing an apartment with anyone, unless it's one of my boys. Other than that, I'd rather not live in the city of San Francisco. If I'm a young male or female just getting started, sharing housing with strangers is just not for me. In addition to that, if you're wanting to purchase a home, anything under $1 million is going to be a rarity, because the housing prices in San Francisco are extremely, extremely expensive. So if you're a first-time home buyer, you're going to have to save quite a bit of money for that massive down payment, and your mortgage payment is going to be very, very high as well. So we know the cost of living is extremely high in San Francisco. So how much do you need to make to live in San Francisco? Given that it's the 5th highest cost of living in the country, it's not surprising that living comfortably in San Francisco calls for a pretty hefty paycheck. According to data from MIT Cost of Living Calculator, a single person with no children needs to make about $84,000 after taxes. Of course, that salary requirements will vary depending on where in the city or outside of the city you live, your lifestyle habits, and how many children or pets you have. Can you live in San Francisco for less than $84,000? Absolutely. Many of the residents in San Francisco do. However, with my dining habits, mainly that I go out to eat constantly, I would probably need to make significantly more to live in San Francisco, live comfortably, especially with 2 young boys. Now, let's move on to the next con. As I'm looking at the clock, I still have 10 minutes. And the next con is going to be the homeless issue. You can live in a mega mansion in one of the most beautiful neighborhoods in San Francisco, or you could drive to your employer, one of these big worldwide companies, and you will see homeless in and around your neighborhood and your employer's offices as well. Alongside million-dollar estates, you'll find tent cities and folks living in doorways and streets. Any discussion about San Francisco that overlooks the issue is avoiding the harsh reality. Despite being one of the wealthiest cities globally, there is an undeniable and significant problem with homelessness in San Francisco. Residing in San Francisco comes with the difficulty of witnessing hundreds of homeless individuals on the city streets. A simple walk in San Francisco frequently involves passing by tents, heaps of blankets, and shopping carts laden with belongings. Needless to say, the sight is profoundly disheartening. Living in San Francisco is a tale of two extremes. San Francisco as a whole is very wealthy. However, it also has extreme poverty. So it is going to be a tale of two cities, the very, very wealthy and the very, very poor, which is very, very unfortunate. So if you're trying to avoid homelessness on a day-to-day basis, whether it's commuting for your errands, dropping off your kids, the homeless issue is going to be very prevalent on a day-to-day basis, regardless of what area of the city that you might be visiting or residing in. Guys, just made it home and grabbed myself a quick late lunch. It's one of those days where I'm extremely busy. It's 3 o'clock, just getting around to eating for the day, which is perfectly fine with me. But now that I've made it home, let's move on to the next con of residing in San Francisco, and that is going to be housing. If you're looking to purchase or lease a home, obviously you have to reside somewhere. It is going to be extremely expensive, as we stated earlier, in the cost of living. The day-to-day expenses of living in San Francisco are through the roof, and housing is going to be your main expense, even if you're trying to be frugal and cut a deal. I assure you, your housing expenses are going to be outrageous, especially when you compare it to other markets throughout the country. It is no secret that housing prices in San Francisco are among the highest in the country, making it one of the most expensive cities to live in. The demand for housing in the city is incredibly high, with many people competing for limited space. Currently, the median listing home price in San Francisco was $1.2 million as of December 2023, trending down 4.2% year over year. The median listing home price per square foot was around $987, while the median home sold price was $1.2 million. And if you're looking to rent, the median rental rate in San Francisco was around $3,500. Needless to say, you're going to need a significant income, and thank goodness there are major employers in San Francisco so you can pay for that monthly mortgage payment or your lease. Now that we've taken the shock in of how expensive it is, not only in the day-to-day expenses, but your housing, let's move on to the next con, and that is going to be the steep hills and traffic. So if you reside in San Francisco, while the hills do look beautiful, they're also going to cause havoc. There's traffic in every direction. Whether you're going east, west, north, or south, you're going to be going nowhere very fast, and parking is going to be very limited. And oftentimes you'll have to pay for parking, which can get rather expensive as well. So steep hills can make it very dangerous to get around and commute throughout the city. And the traffic is also an issue when residing in San Francisco. While the steep hills and topography of San Francisco can be exciting and unique, they can also present challenges for residents and visitors alike. The hills can be treacherous for drivers, and the steep inclines can be difficult to navigate for those on foot. The terrain can also make it challenging to access certain parts of the city, and the limited public transportation options can make it difficult for someone to get around. Traffic congestion and limited parking are major issues in San Francisco that can make commuting and running errands a challenge. The city's narrow streets and limited parking spaces can make it difficult to find a place to park, and the high cost of parking can be a significant expense. So while the hills do look absolutely beautiful, they also present challenges, needless to say. And once Richard Soto and the team at VIP Realty help you acquire your dream home, or maybe you're a home seller that we just assisted sell their home fast and for top dollar, it's going to be moving day. And you're absolutely welcome to give me a call so I can come and monitor everyone to make sure that they're moving your items properly. Moving day, guys, is going to be another con because it is going to be very difficult to move your belongings. As I stated earlier, traffic, congestion, limited parking, and the steep hills make it a nightmare for movers to relocate you from one home to another. So I have to give big props to the moving companies here in San Francisco because it is definitely not easy and the land is not flat like other parts of the country. So moving day is going to present its own set of challenges. With its steep hills and dense neighborhoods can make moving day more since street parking is always jam-packed. You'll be hard-pressed to find somewhere to park a moving truck. That's why it's a good idea to apply for temporary signage with the SFMTA so you can get tollway signs and reserve several spots. However, these permits do come with a cost at around $320. Also be aware of all three bridges in the Bay Area have tolls, the most expensive being the Golden Gate Bridge. Guys, those are just a few of the cons and a few of the pros. There's definitely additional pros if you want to reside in San Francisco, and I assure you there are numerous more cons. Those are just few that came to mind and are on top of my list. However, San Francisco is absolutely a beautiful place to call home. If you're able to afford it, San Francisco is not for everyone, and you do have to make a significant income, in my opinion, to really enjoy everything that the city has to offer. Guys, if you're thinking about moving to San Francisco throughout the state of California, San Diego, Los Angeles, my team and I would love to assist you with your next real estate transaction. As we have offices throughout the state, we would love to be your go-to real estate team, whether you're looking to purchase, sell, or lease, residential or commercial. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm about to get to it, guys. I am very hungry. Then I'm going to get back to all your emails, phone calls, and texts. So I got to get back to work. For now, we will see you on the next video.